countries like Norway,
Yeah.
Saudi, Dubai, they're wealthy because they have natural resources, for example. Then there are other countries, quite a lot of European countries, that are doing well because they are high government spend per head countries.
Okay.
So even a country like Denmark, it's got a small population. The tax is actually quite high. But in terms of the services you get,
Wonderful.
It's really, really good.
Okay.
So I think what Labour is trying to do is move us more towards that, which is we're going to tax you, but you will be able to get that doctor's appointment. The public transport will be on time and will be in a good quality.
Your kids will get free breakfast.
Yeah, the breakfast club. So this money is genuinely going to the NHS and to like the public services. And if we can actually spend that money well, then it should make the country a better place.
Now listening to the In My Opinion podcast, the home of edutainment, brought to you by Sakali, DTM and Uzuma. So get your drinks, snacks, relax and enjoy.
The funniest thing is, all of this stuff means that obviously in Africa we don't care. We're having babies.
Yeah, of course.
So what's happening is they're saying in the next 30, 40 years, countries are going to be bidding to get Africans to leave Africa and come and populate their countries because they don't have the young people are not having enough kids in order to do what needs to be done for the economy to grow and things to be done. And remember, what we've done here has offended the Eastern Europeans have left.
Yeah, they're pissed off now.
They've left.
Well, Brexit.
Brexit did that.
They're
but
pissed off.
Then only that is that to the point where now when you want, so now even when we talk about building, these are people
Bro,
that
back in
really,
the days, we used to be able to just go to B&Q.
Oh,
I need
Wix,
something that just go there.
And someone be outside.
Listen, they get it done
Now
like
there's no
this.
one there.
There's no one there.
Now there's no one there, bro.
We're talking about help kids in homes and all of these types of things.
What's it called? Healthcare, all of that. They can't even look at the care agency.
Yeah, care
all of
agencies.
that. There's no care workers. Nobody wants to do it. Like the whole thing is just gone to crap.
And the thing about us is that, especially us Nigerians, we know how to work.
Ah, bro.
Any man that can sit in the toilet and smile at you while man and said you want lollipop, that is a strong. Only us can do that. Do you understand?
Wait, can do what? Sit
in the toilet
with you
in the club.
Because
What are you talking about?
With the aftershave. Yeah.
so you got that straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because in Nigeria, we know.
I was
wasn't
talking about.
expecting that. That's
I thought you was
funny,
talking about
Uncle.
carers.
He said anyone that can sit in the toilet and
Smile.
smile.
The thing stink, man's it.
Nah, big man.
You want
I never-
lollipop?
But you see now, the man got hella
gum.
perfume.
Hella perfume.
They've made it
They've
nice and
invested.
smart.
I never
You go in the
like that,
toilet
you know.
sometimes now,
Think
bro. You're
about
like, yo,
Oyibo could never.
ever. That's
Could
facts.
never. What do you
That's
mean?
facts.
They've not seen hard work like that before. That is.
Them man are thinking, because you know what it is? And I said to people, it's all about perspective. Because this is a man coming from where probably, let's be honest with ourselves, we've been to Nigeria, there's no toilet, there's nothing like that. You talking about there's a toilet, there's marbles, all of this. This is lit.
I said I'm in luxury.
Brother, this is lit.
There's a hand dryer.
Bro, that man got
Bloody can dry my
that man got a
hand.
hench.
Bro, I don't need tissue.
I've never deeped into the way you said
Nah,
it.
the way you
That's
put
true.
it is, I'm gonna look at them differently.
But that's
now.
how we are.
No, you're right.
Bro, we do the maddest. We know how to work, man.
That's
Traffic would be
true.
getting cussed. I'm just doing my job.
I'm just doing my job, facts.
And I've
Doing my
seen
job.
an uncle give out ticket in the rain. And I'm like, uncle,
These
did that
man,
deep.
they don't care. They on
Bro,
it.
them man are on it. He's right, man.
Man will finish church, put on his uniform straight after,
Straight.
and go and be the devil.
Yeah. And you know the man drive now. The man drive new shapes. What? They pick each other up. They just boom, 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 drop off. Bro, they're active.
That is crazy.
So you
No,
gotta
you're
really
right.
think about that work ethic. And so we're in a country like I look at my kids, for example. My kids don't know struggle. Like I've learned work ethic from my parents. They did bare jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My kids,
yeah.
So now we've got to, if we don't train them and teach them,
Oh man,
bruv, these men are gonna come out lazy.
yeah.
And so we were looking at them and like, right, how come you men are so like,
Yeah.
But they're 3-4 generations in to this culture.
Yeah.
And that's what we were saying about culture. We've got to have a standard. Like I talk to my kids, I say, this is what it means to be in a suko. This is what, forget what outside, you carry my name. This is what it means for us.
Come on now.
And do you understand? And have our own standard. And I have learned that watching other communities.
Yeah.
Because you see, like other communities, they don't call police, bro. They got chiefs in their elders.
man sort it out.
They sort out themselves. Even if man's got to pay reparations, got to pay. They'll sort stuff out within their own community.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Why are we not? Who are we accountable to?
And that's why, you know what's so crazy? Even part of what I don't want to veer off too much. It goes into like even the crime we're having. Facts. And you're seeing the fact that I just feel like we have no more leaders.
Come on.
And I think a lot of it, what you said earlier on is so key, man. And I hope a lot of people really take heed to that. It's like having men holding their boys accountable, holding each other accountable. Like you're living in a society now. I was talking to this older guy, and he was surprised that I had that mentality because I wasn't born here.
Facts.
Like I was always saying that I grew up in an environment where if I go down the road and do something bad, the neighbor will smack the crap out of me and take me home to my parent and say, yo, this is what he was doing. And then I get some more on top of that, right? And I said that's where I came from, like where it took like literally a community, like. But here, obviously, I have to understand you can't do things like that here. However, we can still have some of that foundation in terms of how we put each other in check. You know, I'm talking about stuff like that.
It's important, like even like things like smack and all that, like. I always feel like I never smack my kids. My hands are too heavy. Like,
I
wouldn't want to be in the receiving.
But my wife, do you understand? If it's needed, bruv, do what you got to do because I don't care what these men say. Smack helped my life. I thank my mum every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've changed me. You understand? Because if not, I wouldn't be here today.
It's like people don't understand that kids are different, you know? They think like, there's some kids that more like you can speak. There's some kids here that, them are bouncing off the wall.
Because I speak to one of my brothers, for example. He's Caribbean, and obviously I got him a job in Barclays.
Right.
And he was from the roads, so I was trying to help him come off the roads.
Oh, good.
But obviously, after a while, it's like, I can make more. Then I have to go with a manager. Within 12 months, he was in prison.
That's good.
After that, come back out. Then he went back for a big one.
Oh, the bird.
When he come out after 7-8 years, now. He's like, bro,
I wish
I needed it.
Oh,
But you understand? What I needed was a smack, so I didn't need to experience prison to get the change.
Right.
Do you understand? I just needed the beatings to understand that. This is not for me.
That's right.
I don't need to touch that fire.
That's right.
He needed to jump in the fire.
Yeah.
But once he touched it, bruv, now regular job. Man was working in. I remember he was working in Court warehouse. Saying, thank God I work in the.
I worked there.
Yeah.
Before. He couldn't understand.
He couldn't
understand it. So sometimes, we think we're protecting our kids from certain, but we have to understand that there are certain things that we need to drill into them and they need to go through. And sometimes, again, it might not need to be from you as well. That's what I say about the village. So, for example, like my older son, sometimes I know you don't want to hear it from me because I didn't want to hear it from my dad.
Yeah.
So I'll say, go with your uncle. So one time I was like, go with you want to be a bad man. He thinks, go with your uncle.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 12.
Oh, wow. So he's getting to that age. Yeah.
Uncle took him to Brixton with the come home. Sorry, Dad. Boy hasn't. Every day he reads his book now. He went to see real. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that. Sometimes go with your uncle.
Sometimes you see on TV, you see on that, you feel like it's cool.
Just follow him.
And you'll come back and report to me.
When you see, you never ever want to see it again. Do you understand? Because sometimes we think it's a movie. It's real life. It's real life. And so it's like we need to have that culture and have that understanding. It can't all just come from you. Like your kids need to hear it from someone else and need to experience it, and it's a part of it. But
speaking on children, then, do you not think it's by design that we are not taught financial literacy as children? Because I was seeing the Barclays ads, sorry, your favourite bank, and they said the way they manage money starts at like 7 years old. So if they know this, why are we not having financial literacy in school? Is it by design? Is it so that we can grow up and get the student? Because as soon as you go to uni, every bank is giving you overdrafts. Every bank is giving you credit cards.
NatWest went crazy.
This is what I'm saying. Most of our uni days, they went stems from uni.
You can have it. I had no. You can have it.
Literally, all of my debt started in uni. So do you think that's by design that we're not taught in school?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you think about what a credit card is, they literally make the money from that, from you messing up, from you paying interest and stuff. I think the attitude towards that has changed over time. I think the financial crash and stuff, that was like a high point of greed where we were like, okay, we can actually crash the whole world if we
chose to,
like lend people money and they can't pay it back. I think also, actually, things are moving really quickly. So if I think about when I was at school, there was no buy now, pay later. There was no
layaway.
Layaway.
There was no like mobile pay or anything like that. So if you're a teacher in a school and you're teaching the kids something now, the technology may have moved on in 10 years time. So I think that's actually why what we do is so future-proof, because we can actually provide that updated learning as things develop. And then also it's like, who's going to teach it? I think like teachers work really hard. They have to teach all the core subjects and stuff, and then to add financial education, which might be something that they're not that confident in.
That's what I get.
It might be quite difficult for them. But like, we've both been into schools.
Yeah,
we've
taught
schools and that sort of thing. Financial education is actually on the curriculum.
Okay,
So
that's what I was going to ask.
it's on the curriculum for secondary school.
Okay.
It forms part of maths and citizenship, but it's not currently mandatory for primary schools.
Okay.
Right.
This then feeds into the point that you just made about your financial habits being formed at 7. I would argue it's before that.
Okay.
The research shows that children can recognize coins and notes from as early as 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
And I don't have any kids, but my youngest brother is 17 years younger than me, so he's 18 now. I remember when he was like 4 or 5 years old, and he was like, "Yeah, Timmy, I want to get COD." It's like, how do you know what Call of Duty is? But like, obviously, he's watching YouTube. He's being advertised to. He's watching TV. He's being advertised to. He's playing a game on the phone. There's ads and stuff. So we're just the most advertised to generation. So you need to start early with your children.
You need to ingrain that.
You need to take them shopping with you. Teach them with cash in the beginning, and then graduate them onto cashless. I say, even though a child might spend most of their life typing on a keyboard, you still teach them handwriting. So it's the same thing with money.
Yeah, and also you got to think about it like money's a life skill. Like we make financial decisions every single day. Like you might not think you are, but let's put it like this. For example, you want to go out, you decide: do I take train? Do I take bus? Do I take Uber? That's a financial decision.
Yeah.
You're at home. Which energy company you use and what tariff is a cost. So even having light, do I have a house that has just electric? Do I have a house that has electric and gas? Do I use my electric heater? The electric heater consumes a lot of energy. It's a financial decision. But if you've never been taught money, and think about it, if we know that from you now have to stay in school, right? So you have to stay in school or do an apprenticeship. That's up to 18. So now you know that either by 18 you're either in work, doing an apprenticeship, in work, getting paid money, or you're going to uni and then they're going to give you student loan, student overdraft, student credit card. But not one point did they tell you how all of this works.
To manage
how
it,
to manage it. They never even gave you a little account. Like when EMA, I don't know. Certain man got EMA. Right? At least if you got EMA and if they did it properly, that should have been a financial tool. Where if you used it properly, or if you saved a certain portion, you got more, or incentivize you to be wise with that money.
I had no one tell me
nothing.
I just knew I was getting free. I felt like it was free money.
Let me see. When I got a credit card, it said APR. I said, "What's APR?"
I didn't know what that was.
I don't even know. I think I know it now, but I couldn't explain it.
All I knew was sign here. I'm not lying.
Could you try and explain
Or APR? You're gonna get me fired from my job. All right. APR, it stands for. Oh, is it annual? Percentage? Rate?
Perfect.
And it's the rate of interest on an annual basis. But if you want to get it on a monthly, you have to divide it. Is it?
Similar to that, but exactly what you're saying is that, and this is why when you do the buy now, pay later and so forth, it seems like it's such a big amount. Because people used to do payday loans, right? So you get a payday loan, you might only be getting a loan for 30 days. So they give you £1,000 and they tell you to pay back £200. If it's only 200.
No.
So APR allows you to say, well, if you took that loan out for a year, the percentage
is
is
insane.
1,000%. Now you're like, rah, you're gonna give me day. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so
Payday is the worst.
that's
Oh
the same.
my
And so
God.
AER is the same, but for savings accounts. So you can compare savings accounts with each other. So because they'll give you a rate, but you're like, what's the this is what you say the rate is, but what is it actually? How do I compare it?
The only thing about APRs is both the interest and fees put together.
Okay,
Right,
didn't know
right.
that.
So it's the interest and fees over the balance as a percentage.
So if someone says APR is 29.9%
Yep.
APR,
It means that if you borrowed £1,000, then you'd pay £299
Over the
the
year.
course of a year divided by 12.
okay.
Yeah.
And AER is savings.
It's the interest you get on savings.
You get.
So for £1,000,
I've never seen 29.9.
No.
We'll be cute if he gets there. We're in trouble. If they're giving you 20% of the bank,
I've never ever
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that in my
problem.
life.
Yeah.
no, that's
Wow.
No, but you know what? One thing I want to say is that one thing Timmy said earlier,
Yeah.
is that the UK we lent, borrowed, right? So we lent all this money, hence how we got this black hole. But yet the pound has stayed strong. Yet in Africa, we're Nigerian. You see what the naira's done just in 1 year?
Brother,
So
backflip.
it's 2,000.
It's 2,200.
2,200, yeah.
Can you explain this to me?
At
These
one
guys
point,
talk
even
about
it was
it a lot.
almost on free bag.
Yeah.
At one point,
Yeah.
So talk to me, like you lot talk. These guys actually talk about it a lot. How the naira has gone mad.
gone
So
mad.
what was it? What was a reasonable exchange rate naira to pound?
Not that it was
On average.
ever reasonable.
Yeah.
The problem was is that in Nigeria, because the naira was so unstable, we used dollar.
Okay.
Yeah.
When the new president came in, he wanted to stop us using dollar, comparing to the dollar. He felt the dollar was too strong. They wanted the naira to be the main currency.
Okay.
So he limited how much dollars, and we no longer compare to the dollar.
Oh, okay.
So what happened is that now we're now comparing straight to the naira, but the naira is not considered a strong currency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Nigeria have to borrow, that affects the naira. And so when the economy is bad in Nigeria, the strength of the currency gets worse and worse.
Because it's kind of stupid it's the right idea, but it's dumb because you haven't put an infrastructure in place for you to be able to negotiate that. Nah, this is what we want in exchange for our currency.
Exactly.
So you can go back in the US and saying, nah, bro, this is what we're giving you. This is the rate you're gonna get.
So what is the dollar rate to one naira? What's that worth in dollars now?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, but I think
But
just
pounds.
it probably just in pounds we know is about
Oh,
2
sorry, in
2.
pounds.
In
In pounds is 2 2
Yeah,
to
2
1
2,
pound,
about
2,200. And then it's so mad because you said earlier on it's never been good, but take me back to when it was like 500 pounds. I mean 500 naira.
I remember when
to
it
a
was
pound.
250.
And bro, take me
What,
back to when it was even 500.
What?
when my dad
250
came,
what, sorry?
when my dad came from Nigeria,
250 naira to a pound.
Oh,
That's
and
when
now
I
it's
was a-
2,000.
And we're talking like
That's when I was a
this
child.
about like not well. So it was 600 because I remember this was just back 2006.
Yeah.
It was 600.
Yeah.
It's not even that long ago. Think about that. 600 naira to a pound.
Wow.
Now it's 2
So
But even last year, when I went last year, it was 1,000.
1,000. Yeah, 1,000.
Just in a year, it's
in
gone
a year.
2-2.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
That's
I-
wild.
I just wanted to pull up something as well. I don't know if we're able to get this on the camera, but
Let's see.
can anyone tell me what flag this is?
Let me see.
I saw this the other day, but I feel I'm still gonna get it wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still gonna get it wrong, but I think it was it was Nigeria's flag when it was colonized by England.
Well done.
Yeah.
That's Nigeria's flag pre-independence.
Yeah. Because I saw.
Do you know what the currency was in Nigeria before the naira?
Was in our shillings.
The pound.
Pounds in it, yeah, but it was pounds,
So
yeah.
why would it work?
Oh.
Yeah, it was pounds in it.
It wasn't built by us.
Yeah.
So
Because when my dad came, the pound and the thing was the same.
It was like the same, yeah.
the same. When it
At
came,
one
it was
point, when
the
we
same.
first,
And what
yeah,
year
it
is
was the
that?
same. I was like 90s.
That was 1980s.
98 something.
So I've not. The only caveat I'll say ahead of what I'm about to say is I'm like you. I've not been to Nigeria since I was a child, so I need to go back as an adult. But what I kind of feel is like if the borders, the culture, the currency of a country weren't built by that country for that country, then it will never ever work.
Yeah.
that is sad.
And that's what the new president is trying to do. He's trying to say, look, let us use our own and start, but we haven't done the infrastructure.
Infrastructure, yeah.
We're not. You're think about the fuel. So like now, look, we use electricity.
yeah.
There, if there's no light, you're using petrol.
Yeah.
So you use generator.
The generator.
So when petrol prices go up, when I went there, even last year when I went there, you couldn't get Uber because petrol price is so high. Uber wouldn't even come out.
And this is a country that produces like majority of fuel for is insanity, bro.
UK, one of the UK's biggest export is oil. They don't have none.
Yeah,
it's ours that we send to them.
Yeah, because you got
refine it and send it back.
And that's why they removed the subsidy. Is it because there was a subsidy?
And they removed the subsidy for their own. But that's why would you make it more expensive for your own people?
But the UK
in the Middle East, they don't do that.
The UK's been doing that though. So in the time periods I was talking about before, in the Industrial Revolution, cotton was the main export of the UK.
Yeah.
Where did the cotton come from?
Exactly.
It's just every...
No, but my thing is that go to any university in the world and look at the highest scorers on any, you'll see a Nigerian up there. So you're not telling me we can't build a refinery.
Bro, no, brother. Well, some of the most brilliant minds in the world is from there.
It's been built now.
Too intelligent.
Is it Dagno? Is that his name?
Yeah, Dango. Yeah. He's built.
Brother, do you know how much hell they're giving this guy?
They're trying to burn it.
But is it
Bro, do you know how many explosions this guy's had? It's just somebody.
But who's trying to burn it? The British.
Brother,
come on.
Do you think, anyways, let's not speculate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I'm going Nigeria.
But the point being is that what is the point of having all these cars? The road don't work. You're stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
You got these big houses. Like, do the basics, right? Because when an economy works when there's a middle class.
Yeah.
So when you have the whole point of having a middle class is that the people at the bottom, they have something to aspire to.
Yeah.
The people in the middle have something to aspire to.
That is even possible.
And then you can create businesses and companies that can reach the different markets.
That's
I always tell people, Netflix was only $5.99 not too long ago. It's $1 billion company.
Well, now
you don't need the most
$13.99 or something.
It's gone up,
like that.
but you don't need to be the most expensive. It's not something that has to, especially when you got numbers like what we've got. Nigeria, the problem is we've got so much people. When people die, nobody even blinks.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Because we've got so much.
Yeah.
But we need to be utilizing them. We see China, they build whole towns. Nobody lives in them.
Yeah.
Just to give people job, to give people trade.
Yeah.
So why are we not putting money into infrastructure? We used to have trains. Trains are not going. We fly everywhere.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel like it's intentional, personally, because there's too many smart people from that country for us to still. But I just feel like it's intentional, bro. And we're just crying. And nothing ain't gonna change about it. I don't feel like it.
No, the projections for Africa are really positive.
They're very positive, bro. They've been saying that for a minute, bro.
Yeah.
And did you see? They said that before, and look what happened to the currency now.
Stuff happened.
We don't know what's gonna happen next year. I saw this video that almost made me cry over. I think like a lorry, that was carrying rice had an accident toppled over, and people around the thing it was running up and grabbing rice in the bucket that was already mixed in the sand, bro. And you're like, bro, this is what people have to, like, that's how bad it is. And you go there, you see on this place here, there's a house that's like as big as this whole road, mansion. Just across the road, people are living in the gutter. And you're like, thinking, how do you even step out of your house in this kind of car? How do you even leave your house knowing that this is what your surroundings is? Like, it's crazy, man.
But then the people don't complain.
No.
Because we were so used to handouts.
Yeah.
So as long as they give you money when it's time to vote.
You
vote for whoever.
That man go around.
Can I ask a question though? Are we being hypocritical by not being there and building back there?
I love that question.
That's brilliant.
That's a great question.
Isn't leaving just a massive brain drain on all these countries?
No, I agree with you, right, to a degree. My only pushback is this, right? And it just seems like it's a common theme in every country, isn't it? Like, where you have a government and it's boiling down to now people having to say, oh, we should go back. Because there's other countries, like you're talking about the Middle East and wherever it might be, there's other countries who have oil just like the same way we do, and look at their infrastructure. They're doing it. They're not relying on people leaving their country wherever it is. They create like no taxes for their citizens. They create so many stuff. Why does it that when it's our turn is falling on the people in the diaspora to have to come back back
Bro.
every time to have to come and change the whole country where there's a government there.
Bro, do you know that if you look at the stats, when you look at the diaspora, we donate more than any Oxfam, any charity.
Every Nigerian family has a family back home that they're taking care of.
Think about that. And that's just not just Africa in general.
Africa, yeah, sorry,
And so
I can only speak.
And then when and even now, like for example, here in the UK, we know that things are. If you've got any hope to earn 100k plus, you know that here's not for you.
Yeah.
Especially within this Labour government for the next 4 years. So what's happening? It's a slow movement.
Yeah.
You're seeing, trust me, when you start talking to your guy, Middle East, the jobs are there, people are going to Dallas.
Everyone's dipping
Houston, they go just slowly.
Everyone's
and this is a problem for the country.
Yeah.
Because you're most and this is not just black people, this is even white people.
Yeah.
Like this is your most talented people don't feel like they can live the lifestyle because men are earning money and not feeling like we're earning money.
Bro, let me
It's
tell you that
bad.
I would have 10 kids by now. Me, the guy you see.
Oh, this
thinking,
guy here.
But I cannot afford it.
Bro.
Just the 2 I have is too much.
It's a lot.
So I don't
You know what? That leads me into in this budget as well.
Yeah.
Huge increase in inheritance tax. Because
Will that impact us? What do we have to pass on?
No, I mean, this is our big bosses. Here. You understand? This is our so like, I mean, we're all aspiring to this.
Yeah.
You know, leave something for our kids. Like, you know, what do you think that is?
I don't remember there being any increases to inheritance tax.
No, there is, isn't there?
Yeah, but they added pensions, right? So
Yeah,
that's a huge.
But the
Okay, sorry, okay.
So with inheritance tax, you've
Right.
got a £325,000 threshold,
Right.
and if your estate falls above that, then the bit that falls above that, you're taxed at 40%.
40%.
That 325 increases to 500,000 if you're passing on your home. And
Right,
you can
right.
also combine it with the spouse as well, so you can get either 650,000 or $1 million.
So you're saying that one there's still a loophole, there's a workaround.
It's not a loophole. It's just when you marry, you become
become one,
financially
right?
One, yeah.
the
So
same thing.
your allowance passes on. When you,
Okay.
there's no inheritance tax between spouses.
Spouses,
Yeah.
right.
So when one passes to the other, their allowance passes over.
or capital gains tax, like gifts between spouses as well. But what they did say, and I don't feel like enough people are really talking about this, is that pensions will form part of your estate
It's a madness.
from 2027. Now, successive budgets can have undone previous budgets. Like they announced a British ISA, for example, and then that was done within a year, so that never materialized.
So explain what that means, yeah, because some people not understanding this.
Oh yeah, so
including me myself. Yeah.
So when when they do the budget announcement, they have to say what's going to happen in the next 12 months,
Right.
but they also need to give a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
There's actually a document, like 150 pages, whatever, that they publish to the government website as well.
yeah.
So they need to show how the things they're talking about will raise money next year and the year after and the year after.
Yeah.
But they can just come to the next budget and be like, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. But the thing with the pension thing is, because pensions forming part of your estate is huge, because there is something like 15 trillion pounds of household wealth in the UK. 42% of that is in pensions. It's the biggest store of wealth in the country.
Yeah.
Above
Sorry,
property.
pension is the money that you've saved up
When you retire.
For when you retire.
For when you retire,
yeah.
And it's because it's that 30 million employees every month just paying in every month a portion.
I
of
pay
their
my
salary.
pension.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's good.
This is it not going to affect him?
What?
The pension.
So what you have to understand is what Timmy's saying is that, like, with if before you had a property,
yeah.
if you're outside of London or the southeast,
Right.
it might not be a problem because for 325k you could buy a house and your assets could be under that.
Under
and if
that,
you own the main residence, then you got extra 175, so $500,000. Most people's when they die, they don't die with $500,000 worth of wealth to be taxed.
Okay,
Assets to be taxed.
right.
But now, by adding in your pension, if between pension and property, those are your two biggest assets. So before, your pension was outside of your estate.
Right. That's what I'm
Because
saying.
your
Yeah,
pensions are in a trust. So because they're already in a trust, they're outside of your estate. So when you die, it didn't form part of the tax.
Right.
But now they're saying, we'll see, like Timmy said, if they even do it. But if they do it, add our property and add your pension.
That's what I'm saying.
Then you're gonna-
Yeah, so
then
why are
you're
you
gonna fall
celebrating?
out.
That's my understanding. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why are you celebrating, bro?
It affects the money you're putting in now because you can't access it until you're in your mid-50s.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
So, and if you think about it, like
You
for
see?
example, let me give
And I know how much your house is worth.
No, let me give you a real life example. My father recently passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that, bro.
And he literally retired last year.
Oh my!
And then died this year. So think about it, if he, for him, all the pensions that he didn't even get to even use it. Now, obviously, luckily, pensions pass over, so that can go to my mum, and you know, she can. But she's only going to live off that income. So whatever's left when she's gone, plus the property, all of a sudden,
tax.
Now they're going to take 40%. This man that studied accounting and,
you see how mad that is?
Was a security guard at night to build this up.
Can you imagine?
Do you see how mad that is?
And he got tax. How does it make sense that he already paid tax to save for that?
Yeah, exactly my point.
Yeah, I mean, every time money changes hands, the government say like a toll booth.
Yeah,
this is not fair.
No.
So wait, are you telling me before this budget? Because sorry, this is
no.
Yeah, this one.
That's why we're here.
You need to understand what they're saying, bro. Because you're like, I pay my pension. I'm like, bro, you need to hear what they're saying.
I'm quite
cynical. It's good that you did
hear
that.
What they're saying.
What's the
so before this budget,
you
have a pension.
Yeah.
God forbid you pass away. I thought your pension stops. So your pension will get
the pot is there.
It'll pass on to someone else.
Pass on to your family members. Yeah.
Does the pot ever run dry?
Yeah. If it's a type of pot, it depends on there's two types of pensions, right? There's what we call final salary, and then there's defined contribution, where you put in and your company puts in. So that's what most people have.
Yeah.
So those ones, there's a pot. So depending on how much you take, typically, if we take financial advice, we typically tell you to take between 5 to 8%, because if it's still invested, it can generate enough so that the pot still remains, even though it pays out. Obviously, you can now take out as much as you want. So if it's growing at 5 to 8%, but you're taking out 15% a year, the pot's gonna run dry eventually if you live long enough.
Okay.
But if you manage it, you can maintain it, and then there's a pot left over. Before, that pot left over was generational wealth, because it could then pass to your children. It pass to your children, and they could start benefiting from that and using that to get that.
Maybe get on a property ladder, wherever it might be. Yeah.
Now they're saying afterwards that whatever's left in that pot afterwards,
tax it.
So now what's going to happen is that people are going to start have to start gifting it.
Yeah.
And obviously gifting it, you got the 7-year rule when you gift.
So you can't die.
So you can't die within 7 years.
It tapers as well. So it's like 7 years you get the max. 6 is a bit better. 5 is a bit better. 4 is a bit better. Yeah.
So you got that. So you gifting, but guess what? Most people don't gift till they tell you got cancer. That's when you want to start gifting. You're not lasting 7 years, man. So they're gonna eat off that eventually. So
how do they know though?
Great question.
Yeah, that you gave the money within like 5 years ago.
Because most of us are using bank accounts.
Is it?
And
they'll just check.
They remember they just did the snitching thing.
Yeah. The banks now will tell. They do a report every year, innit?
Your bank, your
every year, innit?
Your bank, even because before what people used to do when they're smart is that you do on your credit card.
Yeah.
So you build up a bill on your credit card and then pay on your credit card.
Yeah.
Then no one would. Now your credit card will snitch on you. Even your credit card. You try pay your business credit card with your personal account. They'll give you the first one. The second time they'll report you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or they'll close your account.
Yeah.
That financial institution.
Bro,
is
they
your
got
friend.
control of everything now.
Or e-commerce platform.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like
if you sell a
PayPal or
certain
eBay.
number of times on eBay are telling HMRC.
So what about the thing I always hear about?
People don't even know.
Hence why they want us to go.
Go cashless, yeah, because they want to know. They want to know everything.
They want to know because the country broke. That to me, when they were doing furlough and you men were buying cars, didn't know what was coming.
Yeah, and here we are.
Now you're here. You've still got the loan.
But we had no choice though. We all had to take that furlough. It wasn't like you had an option.
No, you took furlough, then you took bounce back.
No, I don't know about that. I didn't take bounce back.
Man were taking bounce back.
Man were taking bounce back and buying whips. They were buying whips, Lambos and stuff.
But some people took it.
They were.
You've crashed the whip
Some people took it and dipped back to their country.
Yeah, some people
took it and dipped back.
But what I want to touch on real quick then is that you mentioned trust. I thought trusts were a safe haven for tax and stuff.
The government can do anything. It's not. You don't. When you understand that nothing is, you don't. And the rules don't mean anything.
It's only for a matter of time. Now this is running, but they can wake up next year and be like, you know what? We're gonna change that now.
So what?
They make the rules. You understand? When you understand, it's like you see like how we have like in Nigeria now, and this is what like I've had people. I've got property. I've got land.
Yeah.
But then the Oba in the area says,
Yeah, they come and start knocking them down, innit? Is that what's happening?
When it was illegal, yeah. See how they said it?
Oh my God!
Even though you got the land, they say, "Oh no, it was built illegally." They'll just come and knock your building down.
If you see the houses again knocked down, brother,
that we act like it's just there. The same thing can happen. These HMRC can come at your house, your mortgage, like anything you own in this place can be frozen, can be stopped. Access to your own money can be stopped at any time. Any moment, I've seen it.
Well, brother, you're stressing, my friend. Look
being
at
an adult is long, bro. No, I work hard, you know.
This guy's stressing.
You have come here to just give me this bad news. I thought you were gonna come and tell me this is how you can hide your assets.
Why did you think when you said,
accounts.
This guy said last week we need to have this conversation? I said yes. I'm like, what do we want to bring on? I'm like, okay, let's go, because I just know that it's bad news, and I just know that a lot of people out there are living YOLO, enjoying, live my moment, and I'm like, no, we need to have these conversations now.
Have you seen
because
it?
the more information you know, you can know how to start maneuvering.
But have you seen when these men just freeze your account? Have you ever had it?
I haven't had it, but I've heard.
Suspicion.
I've had my account closed.
I've had my account closed.
Your account just get closed.
Quickly. They close it.
They can freeze your account, freeze your assets at any moment. If you got a mortgage now, HMRC, if you got your tax bill, HMRC can put a charge on your house.
Yeah.
I've got clients, and the problem is when the HMRC come, now you want financial advice.
Forgive us, bro.
I've been here.
Bro, forgive
you didn't want
us,
to call me.
but we didn't know. Sometimes you don't know till you know.
I'm telling you, so it's so important that you pay, because sometimes you're like, I don't want to pay for the advice. Bruv, what happens if it goes wrong?
When it goes, that's the thing.
The worst case scenario is the cost is so much more and affects your credit. Now I've got people like for silly things, like girls that let man send money to their account, but it was fraud. Now can't take out anything.
Blacklisted.
Can't take out anything for years. And it's like, E-man, how can I? Don't E-man me now.
They even call you E-man.
You want to be for love.
They even call you E-man.
For love.
That's it.
Like, E-man, come help
But
me.
wait, Mr. E-man.
We always want advice when it's...
Give me the advice now. Is trust still worth it? You haven't answered that question.
Trust is worth it, but what you have to understand is that it's always worth it at the time. So even when you get advice, I can give you financial, just like health.
You're not hearing, bro.
I can give you advice today.
But I'm trying to advise the masses.
No, they're listening, but then you're listening to what he's saying. Now, it's calm.
That's what I'm saying. It's calm.
It's calm now. I can give you advice now. But what Timmy's trying to say is that they can change it.
I understand.
So at this point in time, or for the last few years, as financial advisors, we've always recommend pensions as an additional way to get up to £1 million across to your family. So I have clients that have been pounding pensions to say, look, I know that when I die, that's outside of my estate. That's £1 million.
And then now this has happened.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been allowed to change that. Because one of the things that we also suffer from is all the chopping and changing of leadership.
Yeah.
So this was the first year that they actually increased the pension allowance. They increased it from 40,000 to 60,000, and they took away the lifetime allowance. So the million, you can now put unlimited. So that would have encouraged people.
But then they knew that this was coming. They knew this was coming.
It's a change of government.
Give you one.
Conservatives did one, now Labour done the other.
But then, okay, can you at least explain what trusts are?
So is
that a big explanation?
No. So a trust is and this is where, again, understand what a trust is.
Yeah.
So a trust is basically what you are saying is you are giving an asset to another entity to manage on your behalf.
That's not a person.
That's not a person.
It's a legal entity.
It's a legal entity that now is going to represent this asset.
Okay.
And you tell that entity what they should do with the asset. But that asset and the benefits of that asset cannot come back to you. Okay. So people are like, I want to put a property in trust. The first thing I say, do you live in the property? Yes. Can't do it.
Right.
Number 2, I want to put a property. Do you need the rental income? Yes. Can't do it. You can't benefit from it. So if you now said, I've got a property that I don't live in and I want that money, I want that rental income to go to my children, we can put that property in trust.
Okay.
Right. So you're not in control of it really. You're doing it for...
That's it. Because that's why they're not going to tax you, because you don't own it anymore.
But why is it that these trust companies did not fight the government and say, nah, this can't run?
They work to the law. The government is the law. If they change the law... Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying?
That's mad.
But okay, what about life insurance? Can that payout go into a trust?
Yeah. It's quite normal when you buy a house to get, if you're a couple, you get 2 single life insurance policies, and then you make the other person the beneficiary. So if one of you dies, you get the money straight away.
And you get it tax-free.
Yeah.
If you put it in a trust.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I wanted to...
Life insurance is tax-free anyway.
It's tax.
The reason we put in trust is it pays out quicker. Because you need to get probate when on death, right?
Yeah.
So if it's in trust, it pays out quicker.
I just want to try and push us, lead us towards some more positive note. So
Is there any?
I'm trying to. So with what's been said though, can we at least say like when some of these changes are coming, like obviously as long as you have like a financial advisor, someone like an expert like yourselves, you can always see what's coming and advise what to kind of like pivot to, right?
Yeah, I always tell my clients, I'm a financial advisor, but there's estate planners, there's protection advisors, there's mortgage advisors, there's tax advisors, there's accountants. These are all different. My job as your financial advisor is to have all of these things in my armory. So when you come with your situation, I can tell you, I can help you, or here are
other people
that can help you.
Right.
A good financial advisor job is not to have all the answers, but to have the connections to the people that can answer your situation. Because again, depending on where we're at, if I'm sitting with a client who's got 20 million, what they need is different to someone who's got 20k. Do you know what I mean? Both are respectable, but the options and the requirements are different. So so as a financial advisor, we need to be able to. The point of having it for me as a financial advisor is not even to pick funds or pick the best investments. It's to help you have a plan and for you to have peace of mind. Because at the end of the day, you're doing your job every single day. My job is finance. I'm helping clients every single day. So when things happen, I'm aware of them because I've got other clients in a similar situation. You only have your situation. So to you, this is happening to you. To me, this is happening to hundreds of people. Do you understand? And I can bring all their experience to your situation.
Wow.
And so that's why it's so important to have the financial advisor to be able to say, because you want to make it, my clients now, they don't do anything about me. It's gone even far. My client I want to buy this car. E-man, can I buy this car? We'll do the numbers. Can we afford it? Speak to the accountant. Tax-wise, what makes sense? Bear my clients, we're moving electric through your company. You're not even owning it in your own name anymore. And that's just because tax-wise, there's a benefit right now that you get less. You can do it for your company and you pay less benefit in kind tax if your company does it and it's an electric vehicle. So you're not going to know this unless you. Do you understand? What you're going to do is go and get a car that's heavily taxed, really expensive, put it in your company, and now you're paying a huge tax on top.
We need to talk.
Do you understand?
You're getting clients here, fam.
But the point is that
I hear
it's about having the plan. And once you have the plan, then I can tell you. Because if you tell me my plan is to own 6 properties and get X amount of income, when you now tell me, oh, we want to go to the Maldives, I said, this is not in the plan. The money's not in the plan. Do you understand? That's a good financial advisor. Do you understand? Financial advisor is not, oh, I want to do this. Okay, go ahead. My job is, this is the plan. Has the plan changed? Because I can say we can go Maldives, but now what that's going to do is now we're going to reach our financial goal 5 years later. Are you prepared to work longer in order to enjoy now? If the answer is yes, then let's go Maldives. But my job was to make sure that you understand the situation, so that when you now want to retire, and I tell you, you've got 2 more years left.
I remember Maldives.
Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? This is how financial advice works.
All right, then do you guys each at least have one good thing that you saw in the budget that you thought, yep, this is good,
that everyday people can benefit from?
Yeah. Or are you struggling to find
anything? I don't like that look. I don't like that look on your
Timmy's is like, no.
He's like, oh, man.
If you look at the countries that are doing well in the world at the moment, you identify themes. So countries like Norway, Saudi, Dubai, they're wealthy because they have natural resources, for example. Then there are other countries, quite a lot of European countries, that are doing well because they are high government spend per head countries.
Okay.
So if you're in a country like Denmark, it's got a small population. The tax is actually quite high. But in terms of the services you get, it's really, really good.
Okay.
So I think what Labour is trying to do is move us more towards that, which is we're going to tax you, but you will be able to get that doctor's appointment. The public transport will be on time and will be in a good quality.
Your kids will get free breakfast.
The breakfast club. So
Yeah.
this money is genuinely going to the NHS and to like the public services. And if we can actually spend that money well, then it should make the country a better place to live in. The only thing that I think is tricky is that our country is not, it's got too many people in it to be a small country.
Okay.
Like Scandinavia, like Switzerland, like Luxembourg, for example. But it doesn't have enough people in it to be like a USA or something like that. So I do find that I'm becoming negative again. We're kind of stuck in the middle. But look, I think when the economy is down, that's actually where wealth is built. If you look at Warren Buffett, for example, and his partner Charlie Munger, who passed away, I think it was last year or this year, they were both phenomenal investors. But part of the reason why they became so wealthy is because they got started in the 1930s after the Depression. So actually, if you're able to spot opportunities and you're able to build wealth when stuff is down, then you can do really, really well. That's what I would say the opportunity is right now.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree with me. I think the problem is that when you look at someone like the Middle East, even South Africa, healthcare, South Africa will be a great place to live if these men didn't steal the electricity.
Yeah.
If they didn't allow the electricity to get... Yeah. Because when you want to go see a doctor, you see a doctor. Why? Because you pay for it. Do you understand? The problem with us is that we've got this thing of, free healthcare, but you can't see a doctor. I want to see my GP. I have to wait however long. I might be... If I really want to see someone, I have to go and wait in A&E. So we have to get off this concept of free.
So you think NHS should be privatised?
To a certain degree. So that it works. Because free hasn't worked for us. We have too many issues, too many flaws. Now, things like, for example, where they did go right, but then it went wrong. HS2.
Yeah.
We are too London-centric.
Yeah.
There's no country in the world where it should take more than an hour to get to your capital city.
Facts. Yeah.
Because I should be able to live wherever and be able to get to my capital city quick so that I can live there and work wherever the jobs are.
Yeah. Furthermore, it shouldn't be costing you more to get to Spain than to your capital city.
Talk about it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to Leeds tomorrow. Do you know how much my ticket is?
300?
Do you know how much? £300 to get to, and I can get on a plane to Spain or Amsterdam and actually.
That doesn't make any sense.
Get a nice sun, all of that.
And it's not first class. That's a standard seat. Standard seat.
And you might have to stand.
So when you think about these are the things that need fixing because we're talking about social mobility.
Yeah.
And so it needs to be okay because if you look at house prices in Birmingham, if I could really live in Birmingham and get to London quick, I'll go there.
Yeah.
The yards.
I mean, I don't know about the accent though.
The accent's wild.
Yeah,
You're crazy.
But other than that,
then even houses in Manchester, like in the city centre, 100 or something.
Yeah.
This is what, but it's because the supply and demand isn't so high there. Whereas here, you can't go anywhere.
But they should create, and I think to your point, create those infrastructure to make people be like, you know what, I can see why I can live there and get here to work.
And that's what the leveling up thing is supposed to be.
And what they do?
But they didn't do nothing. They didn't do no leveling up.
It's not a thing anymore.
Bro, they've done bare campaigns everywhere.
There was even our home minister for leveling up, Michael Gove. I'll never forget it.
Level up.
What I would also say about the UK is that I think the way that it's structured doesn't make any sense. So Wales, I think, has got 3 million people. Northern Ireland's got 2 million. Scotland's got 5 million. And then England's got 56 million.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's mad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro, I think, we got...
All those other countries have got their own first minister. And then England is just everything. If it was me, I would break England down into its regions. I would appoint regional heads. And I would set them targets. And I'll just be like, okay, let me know the 3 biggest things that's going on in the north.
Yeah.
Let me know what the southwest needs. And then report back into me, and then we'll allocate funding to you and stuff.
I'll vote for you,
Rotimi for Prime Minister.
Yeah, I'll vote for you.
What I think that will expose is a really bad London bias.
Yeah.
With most of the productivity and GDP and money and 13% of the people in the whole country living in one city. But I think we need to do that work because whilst I didn't agree with the people that were rioting, I understand why they were, and I understand why they were rioting in the parts of the country where they were rioting, because they've been left behind, and they just didn't.
Which riot? Let's make it clear. Which one?
The race riots.
You understood why they were doing it?
I understood why they were angry. I didn't agree. I didn't agree.
Obviously,
with
yeah,
what
we
they
don't
were doing.
agree.
But the premise of it, what started, it wasn't to do with that though. What started the riot? It was to do with the attack, no?
So you had the stabbing, but that was the straw that broke the camel's
That broke
back.
right. You think it was for art frustration?
They're angry
basically.
and they're
They've been lied
deprived.
to, and they think immigration is the problem. Where I don't think
they're angry.
Of course
and
not. Yeah, they've been. Well, you know, one thing I feel like the politicians are very good at in this country: slogans. They love a slogan.
The minute you see something being branded, it's
Yeah.
like, doesn't matter. It's Brexit,
Stop the
Yeah.
boat.
22 billion black hole, stop
Level
the boats,
up, all of these things, HS,
453
they love all
million
these
going to
names.
NHS. The minute something's been branded, run away, because that
Propaganda.
means
They
that's the
love
thing.
a slogan,
Yeah.
bro.
Because when you think of when you really deep, like we were mugs, fam.
We were
Man was standing outside my
Clapping.
house,
Clapping.
for the NHS.
over clapping.
And
Yeah,
happen every
you
day.
clap me. I got saucepan.
I did, yeah.
And
With
if
the
you
wooden
had wooden
spoon. Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
dare not go outside,
Your neighbours are
neighbours
judging
looking
you.
like,
They're mean mugging you, bro.
Man is running. It's when I'm hearing the ding, ding, ding. I was running to open the door to go and start banging and
You know?
shouting and clap for these man.
And now look,
And when it was time to give them pay rise,
nothing.
The man
They
tell
will have
them,
to strike.
nah.
They said me not have it.
But
But for Ukraine, let me not get started.
Isn't that what 13? What they just committed now? 13.
3 billion a year
Yeah,
for
3
as
billion
long
a
as
year.
it takes.
For as long as it takes.
For as long as it takes.
So why can't they stop homelessness for as long as it takes with 3
Bro.
billion? Why? Why
Bro.
do we need poor people? Is that what it is?
Yes,
I think-
bro.
I think-
yes.
I wanna hear from the experts. Do we need homeless people? Because they clearly have the money.
I think that capitalism is a zero-sum food chain.
Okay.
What does that mean, please?
I was
in
hoping-
layman's terms.
Yeah. So it's a food chain in that there's the people at the top and there's people at the bottom.
Yeah.
And the reason why the people at the top have what they have is because there are people who
At the
don't
bottom,
have.
yeah.
And by zero sum, I mean it's not supposed to benefit everyone.
Okay. Is that why socialism's good? Because no one would be homeless?
Well, socialism is one of those things that sounds like a good idea, but hasn't worked in any time or country it's been implemented.
Even Cuba?
I actually don't know that.
I said
Okay.
Cuba, you know what? You want to
But-
research Cuba?
I did a bit of research. It looks like, I mean, they're not doing great, but they're not doing bad. But yeah.
But what we need with capitalism is to raise the floor so that the standard for the worst off person is like
house.
at a level, yeah.
Yeah, but
And then if you want to be rich on top of that, fine.
Go
But
ahead.
it's a very UK problem, and that's the thing that I don't like. Is
Okay.
that when men start making money, my clients have to pretend. Man can't talk about making money
No, you can't buy them.
in this UK.
You can't.
And that's crazy.
You can't.
Because somebody else is poor. I can't do well.
You can't.
I have to be humble. And it's a mad. We live in it. When you think about what we said earlier, for the average salary in 2024 to be 35k,
Wild.
35k
Wild.
is the average.
Crazy.
The average should be, honestly, the average should be somewhere closer to 60, 70.
60.
Yeah.
We should be rioting
should
for
be.
that it's not there. And instead of that, what we do is we tell the people that are earning 60, 70, you should feel lucky.
Hush your mouth.
Yeah.
Be privileged.
Hush your mouth.
Privileged.
And complain to them.
Yeah.
That, how dare you complain?
You know what I
That
mean?
Are you okay?
Yeah, they're not the problem.
They're not the problem.
Fake news.
It's like we look at each other, we fight. They've done this thing so well that we just fight each
that
other.
girl that was on BBC News that said she earns
Yeah.
over 100k,
100k and then they
she's
done
struggling.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
struggling.
And people were getting onto her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they done this little comparison thing of like the UK income. They done the benefit. The lady that's on benefit earning 29k a year.
Yeah,
or
or
something like
something
that. You
like-
have the average salary. Then you're like,
It was crazy to me because a lot of black people were getting onto her saying for even earning that much and having the audacity to complain.
But that's the problem. Because how many of us are earning that much?
Yeah, but
So you feel someone
right.
the problem is that we assume that because someone's earning over 100 and complaining that they're bad because
yeah.
we're not even earning half of that.
Exactly.
So what if you're complaining for that? What should I be doing?
what should I be doing?
You should be doing more.
you should be complaining
should
even
be complaining
more.
harder.
You shouldn't be getting
You
onto her.
shouldn't be upset at her because the problem is, and this is what I found, and this is why most people, once you start to make money, you want to leave, is that when you make money, it like let's say I'm looking at a mountain here.
Yeah.
I'm saying, right, that mountain peak is high. When you climb that mountain and realize there's an even bigger mountain. Now you realize how small what you thought was a mountain was really a hill.
By the way,
it wasn't really a hill. And that's the real mountain over there that these lot are enjoying.
Yeah.
And even that one, there might be another one.
There's another one. So it's all relative. Do you understand?
Relative, yeah.
And you don't know what her outgoings are.
Yeah.
You don't know how many people she's supporting. You don't know what she has to do with her. You just assume that because you can manage 35K, why can't she manage 100? But you don't know how many mouths she's feeding.
100%.
You don't know what her day-to-day is.
You don't know what the commitment
her day-to-day is your day-to-day.
Bro.
So if you can manage on this, why can't they manage
That's
on
crazy, you know. That's actually true. Like, people assume that we live the
have the
same
same struggle.
kind of lifestyle, like the same.
Nah, our
and it's
struggle is
not.
different, B.
And it's not as different.
But it's funny because that's just how London is. I told these guys on another episode where when I first got my job in finance, I tried to bring a couple of my boys and my cousins, and one particular guy was like, "Why are you trying to get me a job? You're trying to say your job's better than mine. You think you're bad now because you work in finance and I'm working in retail." And it's like, that made me now feel like I can't share nothing now. I don't want to talk about my salary. I don't want to talk about nothing I'm doing, because the culture we live in, you're not allowed to speak on your success.
Yeah, but we got to change it. That's the thing. And I learned this in therapy. I was speaking in therapy. My therapist was like, we come from certain norms, but what is your norm today for you today? So, for example, like, you know, we grow up in certain conditions, certain struggles. Like, I used to want to be a millionaire. I used to always want to be a millionaire. I was like, I come from poverty. I'm going to be a millionaire. Going to be a millionaire.
Stop lying, man.
Do you understand?
You're already a millionaire, man.
Then
Stop playing.
I was in therapy, and my therapist was like, "What's really important to you?" By the time I talked about where I am today and what's important to me, I realized that I don't need to be a millionaire.
You don't need to be a millionaire
to live that. But because I came from nothing,
Yeah, the norm.
so but I was saying yes to people. Be like, "E-man, we want to come speak." Yeah, I was scared to say no.
Yeah.
Because that was where I was.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we take our former reality and we still do it in our current reality. And we haven't stopped to say, who am I today? What are the norms that I'm going to create for myself today? And where am I at today? What's important to me today? And actually, what used to be important, that's not important. That's not me. And you can create your today. Like, from today, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. From today, I'm going to accept X, Y, Z. So if that person let you down, you don't let that change your stand, because what you did was right. Do you understand? And so what happens is that we get pushback, but you're ahead of your time. You're doing something that just because they weren't ready, don't mean other people are not ready.
That's true.
And it's so important that we don't allow ourselves to stay stuck, because how do we talk about poverty cycles? Like, we talk about, you know, like the cycle of, when I grew up in church, we didn't talk about generational wealth. It was generational curses.
Curses.
Do you understand? We talk about generational curses, but now we talk about generational wealth.
Yeah.
We are changing the cycle.
Gradually.
We're changing it, and it's so important for you to understand that.
I hear it.
Just because someone that doesn't make it, they were wrong. But the problem is that if we allow ourselves, if I do something right and I get a bad reaction, I still did something right.
Come on. Now.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I don't stop doing what's right because somebody else was wrong.
Yeah. Sometimes we get easily discouraged.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's so important, because the more of us that do this stuff, the more it becomes normal.
It becomes normal and
So,
make a change.
and so when it becomes normal, then all of a sudden we stop. I tell people, I hardly ever see an Asian person with keys on the internet talking about, I just bought a house.
Yeah. Oh,
Normal,
facts.
Very rare.
That's
Very
normal.
true,
That's
know.
every day. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I never see them saying, "Oh, I just got my job in IT. I just qualified as a doctor."
Them man do low
This
key.
is what they.
And before you know it, they've bought all their house on their road. They own everything on their road.
It's normal. No, but with us, because we are on our own.
Why do you think they're like that? Why do you think their culture's like that?
Why? Because they're told.
I think it's culture,
It's
isn't it?
culturally, like, even when I've sat down with I've sat down with like white people and done financial reviews with them, and they don't even realize that they've practiced financial advice. They've just done.
Yeah.
what their parents- I had a kid.
Yeah.
I opened an account. Why? When I was a kid, my mum opened an account for me. I got life insurance because my grandma died. Had life. Like, they just do it because it's been passed down. This is what we do. And remember I said, what do you represent? What do you do in your family? This is what we do. So as a family, this is what's been done, and this is what's been passed down throughout time. And I think it's so important for us to understand we need to start creating that, because our parents weren't even born here. Where our parents came from, you didn't even get there wasn't even a mortgage. So why are we expecting our parents to show us something that they never had themselves? We are here. We are born into this environment. So we need to understand, how do we leverage it to make sure our kids know how to maximize it. Yeah. But instead of that, we're watching Love Island. Instead of that, we're watching what next man is doing. You don't know what ISA is, but you can tell me all Kanye's kids' name.
Facts.
It's a problem.
Bro, I wanna. Oh my goodness.
It's a problem.
That's the one.
So it's and like Timmy said, we are in a generation of knowledge. Now you can even say Chat GPT. Don't come to me. You can say Chat GPT. What is boom boom boom, and it will tell you. It will even tell you, if you ask it the right commands, it can tell you what to go and do. Yet now you still haven't done it. So let's stop blaming the politicians.
No, because it's easier to consume the rubbish. You understand what I'm talking about? And I feel like to add to your question as well, is like, I feel like for them as well, even coming from back up, is instilled in just their way of life. Yeah. Like, help one another. Yeah. Like, their thing is they're not afraid of, and I feel like with black people as well, we don't give each other enough grace. Yeah. Like, especially when it comes to supporting one another. Like, if I go and do, let's say he has a business, I do a business with him. Say there was a bit of shortfall, wherever it might be, yeah, I wasn't 100%. We're too quick to be like, that's why I don't mess with black people anyways. Yeah. And then I take my business elsewhere, right? Where I feel like I've never seen an Asian man or our counterparts get angry because it's not everyone is perfect, bro, and then say, because of that I want to go and do business with a black person. I've never seen that. They're going to go to another, they're very community orientated, like they keep to themselves as much as they, not saying it's the right way, yeah, but however it's helped right them. It's the right, it's the right.
Go to.
So I think that, yes, all the things that you said, it's about their culture, but if you look at the history, our culture got interrupted. Yeah. By things like the slave trade. Yep. It's a geographical thing. It was just easier to go from Europe to West Africa than to India and stuff. And I think that interruption of our culture is still affecting us today.
You reckon it's passed down? Do you believe like passed down through DNAs and stuff like our ancestors? Through
DNA. My surname is Merriman Johnson. When I researched it, I realized that my granddad's granddad was a slave.
It was a slave, yeah.
Like settled in Sierra Leone. So if you're from... I'm saying this because I think we need to be easier on ourselves. I think there's stuff that's happened to our ancestors that didn't happen to other communities.
Okay. Timmy, I hear you, but start saving for your kid. That's not your ancestors. Like, you have a child, open a savings account and put £10.
I think it's the conversation. Like let's have this conversation. Let's take actions.
We have insurance for our mobile phones, but you don't have life insurance. That's not our ancestors.
That's common sense.
That's common sense. You value your iPhone more than your life.
That's true. We had a life insurance episode now. Where we was talking about the fact that in black community, like, we don't even think about that, and it's until something happens to you.
Yeah, but the question I'm asking is why? Why is there that difference?
Yeah. I mean, no. I think what I'm getting from what you're saying, is that, like, I don't think I would ever in my life discount that. Like, I know that we started from with a deficit. Like, bro, mad. I get that, but my main thing is that we're living in an era now, in a generation now, where the information is out there, and we have people like ourselves having these conversations. But yet, for whatever reason, even the basic stuff, we're not doing.
So basically you're saying now we know better.
Yeah, we should do better. Do you know what I mean?
And so we understand the traumas and the impact, slavery and that has had on our culture and our community. But you should be hungry now to want to do better for yourself and the generations that come.
And that's just all it is.
I agree with that as well. And I think, like, we're having this conversation and this is going to go out to people and become more informed because of it. But
sorry, go on. No, go on.
No, but I think, yes, it's not the people not taking action today isn't their ancestors' fault, but stuff can be in deadlock for a really long time.
I agree.
If your parents don't teach you something and then you don't teach your kids and they don't teach your kids, stuff can just move sideways. doing stuff like this does help to break that. I just wanted to make that.
And I guess your point
definitely. Thank you.
What I'm getting
as well,
from you as well is less comparing to the other culture, because
they're starting from a different.
they're starting from a different.
I don't think it's also. I wouldn't want to look at it as comparing though. I want to look at it as like almost copying. Like, no, I don't want to say copying. Let's say you're looking, because sometimes you can get motivation or inspiration from others. But like, you know what? I'm inspired by what they're doing over there. Why can't we do something similar? So maybe not saying, oh, wow, we know where they are. No, I'm just saying like they're doing that. Like that's dope. We can be inspired by that.
For example, we said that certain communities, they have certain jobs that we know these men.
It's done. Yeah.
Why don't we have that? Why can't we do that? Why can't we say, listen, when it comes to engineering, when it comes to STEM, right now we know that that's the biggest. Why can't we say we're doing that? Do you know what I mean? How many of us, due to corporate being the way it is, have gone to contracting?
Well, I want to rap, bro.
Man,
It's got bars still.
Man get into contracting.
Yeah.
And then you don't show anyone else how this works.
Yeah.
You just start eating a mad money. You won't even show
and
someone.
You just keep low key.
These men hate being by themselves. When they see something good, they're bringing all their family members. Go and learn this. Go and study here. I'll train you in the night. Oh, put me on your CV.
Yeah.
We start eating £500 a month, £500 a day,
a day.
and then £500 a day, and
don't want to
bring no one in. Even look at you, man. You man do this podcast, but sometimes when I see the comments, I think to myself, "Are you not well?" Because you are commenting for free.
By the way,
for this content to exist, somebody paid money.
This light alone is like 1.5, 1.5 for a light.
When you see the camera, you see and then the time that, like you said, you could be with your kids, you're here.
I'm here.
And then you are in your house for free, commenting nonsense. Trying to bring somebody down.
And it's what annoys me about comments sometimes is like, don't get me wrong, we might not always get it right. Some of our opinions might rub you the wrong way. But at least where is the grace that you know that we have given you good content? That's why you're following in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But to your point, people don't care.
No grace, man.
No grace.
But we know this is what comes with it, but that's not going to stop us putting content like this out. It's never going to disrupt.
Now look at this episode. People are going to get so much knowledge from it. And actually, before I go, the question I was going to ask was, the final question was the tax. Why has my mind gone blank?
Which one? Tax?
Hold on. So, income tax thresholds are being frozen. Why is that a bad thing?
It's a bad thing because, as we discussed before, the way the system is designed is for stuff to march upwards.
Yeah.
So inflation, 2%, which means that prices are going upwards, wages are going upwards, asset prices, property prices are going upwards. If your salary goes up, but the income tax thresholds remain frozen, then as you earn more and more money, more and more of your money is going to fall into higher tax brackets and you're going to pay more tax. When it comes to tax thresholds, you want tax thresholds to go up and you want the rates to go down. If they're frozen or they're decreasing, it's bad times.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's say we got 50k. Like 3-4 years ago, it was 50k.
Right.
And then if you made more than 50k, you paid 40% tax.
Right.
But under 50k, you paid 20% tax.
Right.
So now we're 3 years later. If inflation goes up in the way it's supposed to, that threshold, it shouldn't be at 50k. That threshold should be at...
Go up with inflation.
Go up with inflation. So let's say inflation went up. Let's say it should be 54, 55.
Yeah.
So you're earning 55k now, but you're still paying 20% tax.
Yeah.
But now you're on 54k. Now that 4k extra, you're now paying 40% tax on it.
Oh, so it's like it wasn't even worth.
But you haven't made more money.
Yeah.
Because inflation means that the cost of everything outside has gone up. So now you're losing money.
So it's not even worth getting that pay rise.
No,
it's always worth it because you're getting
pay rise,
but
more of it is being
It's been taxed.
That's why we don't. When they freeze it, it's like, oh, we're just gonna freeze. No, they're really giving you a pay cut.
What's the justification on their end?
Because
more revenue.
It raises so the 40 billion that they raised in tax, freezing thresholds is part of
There's this black hole, bro.
Yeah.
There's this black hole.
The slogan.
And final question, I promise. Because you spoke on furlough, I just remember the question that go on.
Income tax brackets will be unfrozen from 2028 though.
2028.
From 2028.
So what year are we in now?
2028.
We're
You said it like it was positive.
Yeah,
I had to, on God, I swear I forgot we're in 2024. I thought maybe we're in 2027. So I had to check.
They're like, I found one positive. 2028.
Crazy. So I think
Right.
I'm not even trying to be negative. It's
Nah, I hear
just
it.
between
Keep it
now
real.
and the end of the decade.
Yeah.
I think it's just a holding pattern.
Yeah.
I think we could. I grew up in Croydon, and if you compare Croydon
Yeah.
now to 10 years ago, or when I went to secondary school there, Croydon is worse now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Not
yeah.
bad.
Like, things can just stay the same for years and years and years, and unless something materially different happens, we'll get to 2030, and the UK will look exactly the same.
And it's a problem. Like, even when Croydon's a great example. I took my son to Croydon the other day.
Everybody strap in, basically.
We come
It's
from
a long
Bromley.
ride.
It's like, you know, like when you're looking like an old school TV, the color, the color don't seem right here. Like, so I feel like I'm in a
filter.
wharf.
Yeah, it's a
It's
filter.
a mad filter. Like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
Croydon's different.
Croydon's different.
Yeah, Croydon's a different place,
It's a
bro.
mad.
It should be its own like little enclave. You know what I
That
mean?
thing you was talking about earlier on, they should do.
Yeah, they should do
Croydon
it in
should just have
Croydon.
its own,
Its own region.
Yeah,
It's
its own
just it should have its own
facts.
prime minister. Everything.
Yeah, facts.
different place. Because for a place so close to London, transport links,
Yeah.
all the promise that they had, the Westfield that they never built.
And I feel
Yeah,
like
you
there's
know.
so much potential.
So
there.
much.
So much
Yeah,
potential.
But they got
What
Costco
happened-
though.
They got
Yeah,
what?
Costco.
They got Costco.
Bro, that Costco don't have a lot of things. But listen, I got
Croydon.
Costco, bro. I go to the one in North London. I go to the one in West. Bro, I go to Croydon's one. They're missing a lot of stuff. It's like a ghetto
And
Costco,
do you know
fam.
what happened in Croydon?
Yeah.
Again, it's the same things that I mentioned before. It was Brexit, and then it was the pandemic. So all the plans they had just
scrapped.
scattered.
Scrapped.
They're going to announce new plans next year, but they won't be complete until 2038.
Ah, wonderful.
The problem is he keeps giving us the date. It's
Couple
the
years.
problem.
2038.
Every time
Just
you
say- just leave the
it's not
date
gonna
out.
happen.
That's like 34 years. Okay, final question then. Some people that are new to economics, finances might wonder, why can't the government just print more money and just give to all the poor
tell them why
people?
that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, please tell
Why
them.
can't they do that?
There's that film in it. Give them the example.
What, The Big Short or Wolf of...
The God, where he's God. Remember, he answers everyone's prayer. What's that film?
Oh, Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Imagine if.
Can't do
Well,
that,
remember,
bro.
everyone won the lottery. Then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, you won £1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's like
You can't do that.
So the reason why we can't just print more money... There was a time when money actually used to be tied to real stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were on the gold standard.
gold.
And like every pound that you had to translate to a certain amount of gold. And the reason why they use gold is because there's a finite amount of gold on the planet. And it's actually quite difficult to make, like chemically. Around in the early 20th century, I think around about like the First or the Second World War, there was like a shortage of money. And they were like, we can either do this gold thing or we can just print money. And then with the money that we printed, we can use that to grow the economy. So the constantly marching up thing. And then we can, basically have money be a fictional thing. So what I'm trying to say is money's made up. It's entirely made up.
It's a promise.
Yeah.
It's a fool. It's a promise to your future self.
Yeah,
But it was-
exactly. Yeah.
Remember when we had when they rushed the bank
Yeah.
and then everybody wanted to take their money out of what was that, Northern Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, Northern
Remember there
Rock.
was a-
Yeah, the crash. Yeah.
Crash.
The crash.
And because if we all went to the ATM and all went to go take our money,
Probably wouldn't be there.
it would.
And people don't even understand. That's the reason why you go to your bank today, tell them, oh, yo, I want to withdraw 15 bags. You're going to cause panic.
Yeah.
What? What's it for? You got to fill in the form. You got to have a meeting about this. They make it hell for you to take
In my day when I was a cashier, when I used to work in Barclays,
Yeah.
we had a safe. The money was in the safe.
It was in the
you
safe.
could come into the bank and say it. We'll go downstairs.
Yeah.
We'll go to the
Boom,
safe.
boom, boom,
The
count
money's
it out.
there, counting it out. Then at the end, if the money's too much, Securico will come.
Yeah, help you.
There's no money in the bank.
No,
there's no money in there. There's not even a cashier.
Man said, don't live. Yeah, there's no cashier.
You have to book your thing. You
Yeah,
can't
you
just
have to
walk in
book
the
it.
bank. It doesn't
Right.
work like that anymore.
So what you're saying is,
Okay.
if the government printed money,
It
the
loses-
value
the value will
would
go
come
Because
less.
there'd be the same amount of stuff, but more money.
more money.
competing for
So
it.
Yeah.
okay.
Plus, they'd have to pay that money back because the way the government pays money is borrows money is it goes to the central bank and says, "Can I have some money?"
So they're the ones that print it.
Yeah, and then they give it to the government, and then they go, "Yeah, we'll give it to you. We've given you £10. Just give us £12 a year from now." And the idea is that you use that money, you grow it, and then you pay that money back. That's
a lot of people don't even know that the central bank run things, you know.
Yeah.
That man don't play around.
You know what? I was watching in preparation for this episode because I knew you guys are super smart and I didn't want to come across super dumb, right? So I went and Googled, how our banks run, and I watched the most basic video, which you lot might have seen, and it was about, okay, for example, you want to buy a car. You come to me, I'm the bank, you take out a loan for 10 bags, I give you 10 bags, you got to pay me back 12 bags. You take that 10 bags, buy the car off him, he's got the 10 bags. He now banks that 10 bags with me, so that's now, the 10 bags will come back to me.
It's come back to you,
I'm now going to go and lend it to him. He might go and buy a car for something, and that's how the money, from my initial 10 bags.
And by the way, the ones you leave in there, they take that now, invest in some other stuff, and make some more bread off of that as well.
It's all
and that's the thing when people talk about, you know, like Forex and so forth. Most those buildings that we see, those in the Canary Wharf, most of those floors are people trading your money.
That's what they're doing.
Banks are not keeping your money in a bank.
In the bank, no.
Barclays don't have a bank account, so they just store them. No, they trade your money to make money. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And they lose it.
And if it loses, then interest rates go up.
The taxpayer bails. We pay for it.
But when you log into your thingy, it shows you numbers. It's calculated. All you see is numbers.
I'm trying to think of a positive thing to say.
Please.
The way
I like the way you think.
The way that you escape this is by owning stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how.
Please. I like this shit. What's the way out?
So you buy assets. So we're all very on the consumerism point. From when we're taught that you use money to trade it for things. If you can trade it for things that you don't even need, even better. The way that you build your wealth over time is that you own stuff, and then that stuff not only appreciates in value over time, but it pays you for owning it as well. So that
what are some of the examples?
That could be property, that can be stocks, that can be a business.
Gold.
I mean, gold is actually non-productive. Gold does not pay you for owning it.
Gold is a hedge.
Yeah.
Gold is good at a time when there's crisis. The price of gold will
goes up.
So that's why you see a lot of them hold gold.
So it's like a long-term investment.
Long-term hedge.
Gold is a place to park your money, but the actual like real life, real world things that increase in value, because another consequence of the money printing is if you are in an economy where money is being printed but you don't own anything, you will end up poorer at the end of that printing spree. If we're all playing a game of Monopoly right now, and let's say we've all played Monopoly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say E-Man owns all the properties before we've even started the game.
Yeah.
He's already ahead.
He owns all the properties. You can throw as much money at all of us as you want.
Every time you land on...
After 100 rounds, who's going to have all the money?
Yeah, exactly. So
was that
you need to own things.
And that's why, again, we always have to understand is that where the cheat code comes in is that we might be in a country where we have one of the strongest currencies, but if we can go back to places where our currencies are strong, we don't have to own in London. Or
you can make it. You can make your money.
You can take your money in the Caribbean. You can take your money into Africa. You can take your money to other places where it can make money for you. That's why we're seeing stuff like what's happening in Ghana right now. You know what I mean? The government are trying to encourage and so forth. We're seeing look at Barbados. Yeah. Barbados got better Wi-Fi than us. And during the pandemic, they said, look, if you are IT and you can work, come work, and we'll give you a work visa. I got friends that did it. They haven't come back.
Oh wow!
They haven't come back because the lifestyle
and
remember,
the weather,
the lifestyle, the systems work. Remember, it's not about piling up money. It's about the time that you have to spend. There are loads of millionaires in the graveyards. Their money could have saved them.
Jeez.
Oh wow!
Do you understand?
Would you guys advise people in terms of keeping money in the bank? What's your take on that? Do you think try and invest as much of your money as possible, or
so there's a portion of your money that you want to keep readily accessible. So an emergency fund, basically, and whatever that number is.
Is relative to you, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
or do you have
I think about an emergency fund in terms of months. So if you were to lose your job, for how many months would you want to be able to survive? For me, that number is 3 months.
At least.
Jeez. Yeah. I mean, with your expert, within a month, 2.
But then even if it takes 2 months, then you still got to get paid. So 3 months is for you, right? As a minimum.
As a minimum.
That you could go 6, you could go 12. So 12, that easily accessible money, Yeah, you can keep it in the bank.
Keep that on the
You
bank.
can keep it in an easy access account, so you can withdraw it straight away. If you put it into like a fixed account, then you might have to pay a charge or whatever. So you just keep it accessible. Then, with the money that you have on top of that, that's the money that you want to be working for you in some way. Because if you keep that money in the bank, then it's going to be worth less over time because of the whole inflation.
Inflation,
thing.
yeah.
We can't.
And remember,
I like that.
remember, you're also an investment. So don't just think of investments as, you know, ISAs or stocks and so forth. Also invest in your knowledge. Invest in your community. Invest in the things around you. Invest in your children. It's important for us to understand that an investment just isn't just about money. Investment might be actually, I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to invest. I've got a knowledge. I'm going to run a community group and share the knowledge. Like you said, you bring people into finance. You might package that into a course and just teach people. And that's you investing in others. Do you know what I mean? And teach them and say, look, this is what I do. This is how, if you want to get into what I do, this is how you do it. Put it on a slide. You record it once. Private. Sometimes you record it once. You got cameras. You record it once. You do it. Record it once. And then you can send it to people. You don't have to they can replay it and just learn and so understand that when we're talking about investing, it doesn't always have to be an investment in like trading and all this type of stuff. But what Timmy said is important: ownership. What do you own? Do you own your time? Do you own the assets around you? Some of us, like for me, I knew that I'd rather make less and understand how I can control my time.
Yeah.
Time
is like
time is all you have. Time is all you have.
Commodity, innit?
But some of us are all giving up all of our time for money.
No.
Do you understand? And so for me, with 4 kids, it's important for me to know that I need to know them. Because it's not when they're 16, I'm going to try and tell them what to do and they'll be like, who are you?
Where you been?
Do you know where you been? Oh, I've been working. Do you understand? At the same time, it's not that I want to sit down and be here and be like, I just want to spend time with you. No, I need to pay bills. So you have to have the balance. But it's important to understand, to prioritize. You can't tell me your family is the most important thing to you and you never see your family. Do you understand?
I get it.
The two, it has to make sense and there has to be a balance. And so it's important so that's why with my clients, when we sit down, we talk about what's the number? How much do you need a month to be able to give you the lifestyle that you want? And then where do we get that from? Because once you know what the number is, then it doesn't matter how many houses someone else has got, who's flying to Dubai, who's hot. You got that's why I call it personal finance.
Personal finance.
It's personal to you. Like one person's number might be 3 grand, another person's number might be 10 grand. And that's okay because they're doing their thing. But it's important. And also understand, depending on where you plan to retire, will change that. And retirement doesn't have to come at 60. Who told you must retire at 60?
60, yeah.
Bro, if you can retire at 45, enjoy yourself.
I can retire tomorrow.
Come on.
Yeah.
So the earlier the better. But we're so on enjoying all now. And I'm not saying don't enjoy now. Yes, definitely enjoy.
Find a little
now.
time, but
Find the balance.
it.
Delay your gratification. We live in an instant gratification world. Don't have to do everything now. Understand the difference between your needs and your wants. Because we spend all our money on. I always tell them at home, check the last 3 months' bank statements.
Ah, yeah.
You're the one stealing your money.
Oh.
No, because you say, where's my money going? It's you.
You're embezzling your own funds.
How greedy.
How greedy.
You'll be angry at yourself like, how dare I? What did I do with that? Like,
Oh, you're right, you know.
be angry at
I
yourself.
said that, you're right.
I
man.
was so angry when I checked my statement and I saw Starbucks.
We have these
£9.
little stupid habits,
£9, I
yeah,
bought
that
this-
you're thinking,
This
brother.
juice. I don't even know what it was. Some next maca choca. You know these maca. It sounded
Mine
nice.
is the coffee thing, but
Yeah, you just need to have a plan.
yeah.
And I think if you can get to a point where you're bringing in enough money to not have to work or to have to work left, that's
that's the goal.
That's the wealth.
Yeah.
How much free time do you have?
Yeah.
How long can you go without having to earn another pound? I think that is
That's the goal.
more indicative of wealth than the overall.
Like,
number.
I've got X amount in the account.
Yeah.
And don't let no one make you feel bad for being employed. There's nothing wrong with everyone can't be an entrepreneur, everyone can't be. But what I'm saying is that understand that your employment is one source of income, not your only income. Don't allow yourself to say, "Oh, I've got a job, so this is it," because that can be taken away at any moment.
Any moment.
You understand? So make sure that money you're getting from that work, what are you putting it into? Do you understand? We look at. They say the average millionaire has 7 different streams of income. I'm not saying you even need 7. But even if we had 3 other,
But they're solid, and then
Other
they're
income streams.
your goals, yeah.
life would be a lot easier. You could, if your boss was doing you a nonsense, you could say, "Listen, I don't have to take this from you. We need to start giving ourselves choices." rather than living off an income that somebody else is giving to us, that somebody else can take away. So these are the types of conversations you have to have where we say, look, actually, you know what? I'm making this money, but what am I doing? I go out to work hard for my money. How do I make my money work hard for me?
Oh, that's a wonderful note to end on.
That is,
to be honest,
amazing one.
Guys, thank you so much for coming. Like, I know this advice you've given, you could have charged a lot of money for it. So you guys be thankful in the comments. Do you want to plug yourselves? Anything you got coming up? Anything you want the viewers to know, where they can find you, so on and so forth?
Yeah, Rotimi and Emmanuel Johnson. Just follow me across socials at Mr. Money Jar.
Yeah, I'm the Email Effect UK on socials. We got the financial. If you want financial advice, I've got a financial advice company, so you can get actual financial advice. We've got the books, The Ultimate Guide to Money. Get your money right as well, and obviously check the website and get in contact if you need support and help.
And you got a podcast?
We've got a podcast, Bread and Butter.
Yeah?
Bread and Butter podcast.
Bread and Butter podcast.
Bread and Butter podcast.
Do you have to have bread to come on there, or can we? Can
we just bring butter?
No, we definitely get you guys on.
Because I know you do it with
Tayo,
Tayo, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I can give small tips on the small pounds that I've saved. I've managed to save.
No, but look at what you're doing at the level that you're doing it at. That alone is someone can change someone's life.
Oh, okay, so we're useful.
It's better to be useful than useless.
Than to be useless, by the way. No, guys, honestly, it does mean a lot to us. Thank you so much for making the time. I know you lot are busy. I've learned a lot. Please make sure you share, subscribe, comment your thoughts. If you're also a financial advisor and you feel like we've been given the wrong advice, tell us in the comments.
I'm sure they will.
If you want to challenge someone,
someone will come in the comment. They don't know what they're talking about.
I doubt there's a lot they can challenge.
Listen, make sure you go follow these guys, man. They're really good, really knowledgeable. Yeah. Thank you for rocking with us. Till next time. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the In My Opinion podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, peace.